Hello everyone, I'm just back from a 6-day trip to California. I spent 1 day in Los Angeles and I spent 1 day in San Diego, photographing the ocean, capturing some seascape photos. And here are some photos. And you can check out the behind the scenes story, the behind the scene vlog right here or in the description below. And also I spent 3 days in Joshua Tree National Park, and there will be a vlog coming up on my YouTube channel very soon. So please stay tuned. But between the previous vlog and the next vlog, I want to talk a little bit about some random things. I want to talk about my recent purchase. In November, I bought 2 new lenses for my Fuji X system. The first lens I bought is this Fuji 35mm f2 lens, and the second lens I bought is this Fuji 50-140mm f2.8 lens, and I will explain a little bit why I bought these 2 lenses. First, a couple years ago when I bought Fuji X-T2, when I got into the Fuji X system, I bought the Fuji X-T2, the camera body with 2 lenses. The first lens I bought was 10-24mm f4 lens, which is filming this video right now, and then the second lens I bought is this 55-200mm telephoto zoom lens. The aperture is 3.5 to 4.8. So these are the 2 lenses I bought with Fuji X-T2, the camera body. The focal range is great for shooting landscape photography. It covers 99.9% of my needs. But there is a gap between 24mm to 55mm. And also the aperture on the 10-24mm lens, the largest aperture is f4, and for this telephoto zoom lens, the largest aperture is 3.5 at 55mm end. So I don't have a large aperture for my Fuji X camera system. That's why I bought this 35mm f2 lens, because it covers 2 things for me. The first is it covers a focal length that is between 24mm and 55mm. It is equivalent to about maybe 50mm on a full frame camera. And the second thing is it is a f2 aperture. It's a fast aperture and it's equivalent to f3 on full frame. I still consider it as a large aperture because it's very close to f2.8 on full frame. As you can see, it is also very small, the size, and the focusing speed is the reason I chose this one over the 1.4, the f1.4 version, because I didn't purchase this to capture landscape photos because I don't think I need this focal length for my landscape photography. I bought this lens mostly I want to capture photos of my cat, daily life, family, friends. I think it's a great focal length, and f2 is good enough for me. I can get some good bokeh out of this lens. So far I have been really happy with this lens. I have been really happy about the focusing speed on this one. When I capture photos of my cat, cats always move, they move fast. I think these lenses keep up, so that's very good. By the way, I will put all the links to these products, lenses, and the gear I use in the description below. So if you are interested, check out the description. Next, I want to talk about this 50-140mm f2.8 lens from Fujifilm. I bought this lens in November as an upgrade from my previous 55-200mm telephoto zoom lens. And when put these 2 lenses together, you can see the size difference. This 50-140 is much bigger than this 55-200mm lens. And mostly that is because this 50-140mm lens is internal focusing, which means if I change the focal length from 50mm to 140mm, the lens itself doesn't extend out further, whereas this 55-200mm lens, if you change the focal length from 55mm to 200mm, as you can see, the lens itself extends out further. The build quality of this 50-140mm lens is excellent. The focus ring feels very smooth and the aperture ring feels very good. The aperture ring actually feels better than the aperture ring on this 55-200mm lens. And also this aperture ring, I think it feels better than the aperture ring on the 10-24mm f4 lens as well. Both the 10-24mm f4 lens and this 55-200mm lens don't have the aperture marks on the aperture ring. This 50-140mm lens has aperture marks on the aperture ring, so you can see what aperture you are using without looking at the screen. This lens is weather sealed, and this lens comes with a tripod collar to improve stability, so I think that's a bonus point. But the major reason I upgraded from this 55-200mm to this 50-140mm lens is sharpness. This 55-200mm overall offers okay sharpness, but this 50-140 is just better. It's overall just better. This 55-200mm lens, I found, my own experience, is if you are shooting between 55mm to somewhere like 85-90mm, you can get sharp results. You can get sharp results in that focal range with this lens. But when you go beyond 90mm to somewhere around like 120mm, 130mm, and in that focal range, I found I didn't notice the sharpness drops. But it's still okay with proper sharpening techniques in the post. You can still get some sharp results from that focal range. But whenever you go beyond 130mm or 140mm, then I found the sharpness drops even further, and to a point where I think it might not be usable to me. But that only happens when I look at the photos at 100% scale. So if you don't look at your photos at 100% scale, if you just share your photos on Facebook or on Instagram, then that's probably gonna be fine. Compared to this 55-200mm lens, this 50-140, although it doesn't reach as far as this 55-200, it does offer better sharpness throughout the focal range. And I also found that this lens focus better, focus faster and more accurate. When I get home and when I look at the photos at 100% scale, I'm really happy with the details. The details are just sweet. That's why I really like the quality of this 50-140mm lens. I know if you compare the size, this 50-140 is larger and heavier than this 55-200mm lens. But if you compare the size to f2.8 version for full-frame cameras, then you will find that this 50-140 is still lighter and smaller. Next, I want to talk about Capture One. Capture One 12 is recently released with new features, and I did a video talking about all those new features. You can check out that video right here or in the description below. And if you are interested in Capture One 12, you can use the coupon code AMBCAI to save 10% during checkout. Today, I want to talk about catalog versus session. I used to be a Lightroom user, and the Lightroom only offers catalog, and after I switched to Capture One, I still continue to use catalog. But recently I started trying out sessions. I think it's a different way to organize your photos, to manage your files. I create a folder called 2018 as a parent folder, and then I create a folder for each month in that parent folder. For example, November, December in that 2018 folder. And then I will create a session in Capture One for each photo shoot. For example, this trip to California, I will create a session called California Trip in Capture One. And Capture One will automatically create 4 subfolders in that session. The first folder is called Captured, and then the second is Selected, and then the third is Output, and then the fourth is Trash. My workflow is I will put all the photos I captured into that captured folder first, and then I will go through all the photos in Capture One, and I will pick the photos I want to edit. Then Capture One will automatically move those photos out of the captured photo and move those photos into selected folder. Now I edit those photos in that selected folder, and after I'm done with those photos, I output those photos to the output folder. And when I'm going through all the photos in the captured photo, if I see any photos that I don't like, I want to remove, Capture One will remove those photos from the captured photo and move those photos into the trash folder. So that way I still have a copy on my computer, but I know I'm not going to back up those photos. I know many people, when they're done with a session, they will import the session into the catalog. So they're using the catalog and the sessions at the same time. But for me right now, I haven't imported any session into a catalog. Right now, I'm trying out using the sessions alone. So far, I like the idea of sessions. I think it offers a different folder structure, a different way to manage my files and folders. And when I look at the folders, I know what's in there and it's very clear. So I think it might be a better solution to catalog. I don't know, maybe that's a personal preference. But if you haven't tried out sessions in Capture One, I just encourage you to try out sessions. If you don't like sessions, you can always go back to catalog. All right, guys, that's it. That's pretty much all I want to talk about in this video. If you are interested in Capture One, don't forget you can use the coupon code AMBCAI to save 10%. And if you are interested in Luminar or Aurora HDR 2019, you can use the coupon code MING to save $10. Check out more information and tutorials in the description below. If you like this video, please click on the thumbs up button below. Leave a comment to let me know what you think about this video, share this video, and if you are the first time on my YouTube channel, please consider subscribing. Alright guys, I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.